MakingStarWars.net.
I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today you're going to like the video, you're going to subscribe to the channel, you're going to let the video play till the end, or Qui-Gon Jinn's going to watch you pee. Because he's always with you all the time. He's always been with you. And when you're done, you're going to hear a voice go, "What took you so long?" And you're going to be like, so do that, or that's going to happen to you. How's it going, Rob?
I just had an image of like me at the urinal and that little blue cake. He's like in it, the center, you know, like his ghost appears, you know, and he's like, I can't pee now, Qui-Gon. Thanks.
Hello, me.
Can't do it.
Today we're talking about Skeleton Crew, which is a Disney Plus show that, according to Bespin Bulletin, I don't know if this leaker is reputable. I don't know if he's ever had any scoops, right? He sounds like he's just making stuff up to me, honestly. But no, Bespin is one of the best, if not the best. And he is saying Skeleton Crew.
Hold on. And before we do it, folks, we're going to hold you captive and remind you to like and subscribe to the channel.
That's what I said.
If you don't want to do any of those things, let the video play till the very end.
Or Qui-Gon's
watch it.
Gonna watch you pee. That's what I said. Or Qui-Gon's gonna watch you
said that?
pee.
You know what it is, man? You talk about Liam Neeson peeing, and that's all I see in my head.
Yeah, you're into it.
Oh, that's my bad. No, you okay. My bad, dogs. You know what? Let me remind you, let Liam Neeson pee on you. Did you talk about that too?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But if you like and subscribe to the channel, Liam Neeson will probably do that if you just bump into him on the street while he's been out drinking. That will likely happen to you. So anyways,
all right, back to Bespin.
Yeah, back to Bespin, his Back to the Future site. Exclusive Skeleton Crew has started filming. And whenever I this is something that comes into my head all the time, and it's really stupid, but when they start doing the visual effects, ILM should call it ilming. Get it? Sorry. Okay. Since rumblings of the mysterious Grammar Rodeo project first arose a few months ago, I've been reporting that the series, officially titled Skeleton Crew, was due to begin filming sometime in June and would film until December of this year. But what day until December? This report sounds fake. I can finally reveal that Skeleton Crew is filming. Cool. Skeleton Crew started filming from around the end of June at Manhattan Beach Studios, and will also film at both an Unknown Studio in Culver City and at California State University in Dominguez Hills later sometime in the shoot. Unfortunately, I've got no further details on the Skeleton Crew production to share at this moment in time. Like, who's been cast in it? Come on. But it's nice to hear that shooting has started and that all seems to be going well. I know it's probably going to be like, who's casting it? Oh, it's little Julian Wilson. Don't you know him? He's a ninth grader at Santa Domingo Hills High School.
My favorite when people go, they should get the Stranger Things kids when they were kids. Like, we'll go back in time and go get the fucking Stranger Things.
Yeah, they should do that.
This always happens when a new Spider-Man gets announced, right? They're gonna reboot, because they reboot Spider-Man every few years, right? Yeah. And they go, should be John Cusack in 1985. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what?
Use that Mark Hamill de-aging magic, and to get all the Skeleton Crew kids and all the kids from the other show on Netflix to make it the same show I saw before. All right, Skeleton Crew.
I do think he should have been Uncle Ben, though. That's fine.
Skeleton Crew joins Ahsoka filming in Manhattan Beach Studios, which housed the production of The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Book of Boba Fett. As I previously mentioned, Skeleton Crew will also be filming at an Unknown Studio in Culver City and at California State, Dominguez Hills, the train yard, the stuff. Skeleton Crew is set to release sometime next year. It was created by John Watts. This is some of the stuff I wanted to hit on right here. Was that we got John Watts, Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Spider-Man Homegirls. Have you guys heard about Spider-Man Homegirls? That's a new one. And Christopher Ford, Chaos Walking, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Spider-Man Homegirls. with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni on board as executive producers.
They didn't mention Cop Car because Christopher Ford and John Watts both wrote that.
Yeah, you were telling me about Cop Car. Tell people about Cop Car because I think you mentioned Cop Car and I was just like, shut up, Rob. I didn't hear what you said. Then you talked about Cop Car and I kind of want to see it now.
It's about these two kids. Look, it's been a while. It was like 2015 since I watched it, but I enjoyed it. It was these two kids who find like an abandoned cop car that this like corrupt sheriff left out there for a reason. I'm not gonna spoil why, but it was Kevin Bacon plays the bad cop. It's one of those cool little like indie kind of films that you might find back in the day on cable TV or whatever, and be like, oh, remember the time that movie about the kids who stole a cop car or took the cop car and Kevin Bacon was after him? Like, yeah. So it's
you never saw 1987's Big Shots though, so I don't really know if I can take your opinion to mean very much on
At
this
least
one.
I admit what I don't watch. I don't fucking just sit there and pretend like, oh yeah, Big Shots. I love that movie. Yeah. Remember that? Hold on while I type it up and look.
That would be awesome though if you pretended that you saw 1987's Big Shots. That would be cool. That'd be a cool one to pretend to have seen.
So how do I know you're not just making the whole fucking movie up whole cloth?
What? Spider-Man. I mean, I saw Spider-Man Homegirls early.
Look how you had like a video case ready for your elaborate ruse for this 80s film, that obscure 80s film. I would totally do that. That I would do. I would come with it. It had to be a real overly elaborate ruse for me.
Summer School 2. You ever see Summer School 2?
That sounds like something I would have written.
Mark Harmon's back.
So another thing with my inability to gauge the faces of people as a children, I thought Mark Harmon was Mark Summers from Double Dare. They vaguely look alike and have the same name. So every time I saw Double Dare, I'm like, man, he's a movie star and a game show host.
Like I said,
this guy's the best.
When I was a kid, I was super surprised Indiana Jones and Han Solo were the same guy. So that happened. Also, I thought Ray Parker Jr., who did the Ghostbusters song, and Billy D. Williams were the same guy as well. But you took it to a new level.
I took it to a whole
the summer school teacher and the Double Dare guy. I don't know, man. I mean, they had that hair.
Put them together.
All right.
Look, I vaguely look like every police rendering of a white male with facial hair. Like if you draw me, I'm like a Lego template for the human species. So I feel like this is what I see, Yeah. I'm inclined to.
How are you feeling, Mr. Claus? I hope you're feeling better today. I think I heard you were, but I hope you are.
Also, I love all the more MCU Spider-Man films. I know everyone's all super harsh critics these days, but for me, they're all amazing. Love them.
Yeah.
They brought Michael Keaton back. Come on.
Right. Ezra Miller. What's he up to? That guy. He's one of my favorite young new performers. One of my favorite up and comers, Ezra Miller.
He's not in the Spider-Man film. Why are we talking about him? What do you do?
Oh, you said Michael Keaton, and I was like, that's the only reason why I know who the fuck Ezra Miller is because I want to see Michael Keaton in a Batman movie again, and that makes me excited.
Well, they're going to release that movie, and he's also going to be Batman in the Batgirl movie, so you don't have to worry about that either. So.
Big shots.
There it is. I'm going to watch that now. By the way,
I wanted to text you this last night, but I forgot. At 7-Eleven, they have the 89 Batmobile, as a car you can buy. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy, right?
We don't have 7-Elevens where I'm at.
What? Where do you live? You live in Ukraine? Did Russia blow them all up, or what's going on over there?
We have a Moscow up here, if you want to know.
Do you have a come and go?
No, we have a Stinkers, which has a big skunk on it. That's pretty good.
No 7-Eleven, but you have a Stinkers.
It's pretty good, and it's right next to a Jack in a Box, so you know.
Yeah.
I go Stinkers, and I look over. Yep, that makes sense.
while your fajita pitas falling out of your mouth.
It's actually the best low calorie thing you can get on the menu.
The fajita pita. That's the reason why I fucking know it. Yeah, I hate it. Chilean Air was this. Think Pirates of the Caribbean sculpture.
I only know that because when we were making the bet, I was trying to find the least amount of damage I could do to myself at that place. And I was like, you know what? That's not going to be fun for everyone. I'm going to have to do the most amount of damage. So let me see what the most you can get. And it turns out the most you can get was what I used to eat at Jack in a Box when I got super fat as a kid.
Yeah. What was it?
The triple bacon, baconator, whatever that thing is. That I got that for breakfast. Like, that's what I used to do to myself. Like, yeah.
That sounds good right now.
Jason.
So like, yeah, if you are not old enough to have accidentally rented Big Shots, then the Amblin thing, it's like you might know what that means and you might not. But Amblin was the Spielberg, Kathleen Kennedy, Frank Marshall run company from the early 80s that did like the classic Spielberg movies, but also has a vibe to it that's like Goonies. Thinking Stranger Things riffs on it super hard. That J.J. Abrams movie, Super 8, riffs on it very hard as well.
Also,
that tone.
What do you call it? Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
And I think the interesting thing about Poltergeist, since we're talking about Amblin, was there was initially a spec script that Spielberg had put together for the sequel, which the house that folds in on itself at the end, spoilers for Poltergeist, 40-year-old film, that spot ends up becoming like the Stargate for the military into the paranormal. Like they build a little base around there and it's got this like ability to like go between realms and shit.
Yeah.
And I look at Stranger Things and I'm like, this is what would have been, that is that premise.
Yeah.
That is that premise if you had extrapolated that out. And that's the thing I fucking love about, like, you're never going to take the Stranger Things away from me because Stranger Things, for years, man, I found out about that in like 89 in a Starlog or something when Poltergeist 3 came out. I was so fucking bummed that wasn't the version of Poltergeist we got.
Right.
You know, and then when Stargate came out, I'm like, there's an idea, right? That's like the Poltergeist idea. Poltergeist 2, and it wasn't as good. But Stranger Things fulfills. I mean, that is literally going to the upside down was the point of the original Poltergeist 2. Much better than the one we got with. You know.
How did those Native Americans get all the way up on that high pillar in the beginning? That's what I want to know. Remember that? There's like up there, like what?
They were moved around. Every time the settlers showed up, you know, to build, they just got rid of their graves and moved them, and then moved them again. Yeah,
let's go up here. Yeah, I did like when the I used to collect these horror these trading cards that were like horror film based. So like they wouldn't make like the Fly trading cards. They just weren't going to do it. But they did one where it just had like Poltergeist 2 and had the Fly and the Thing, but they would write funny captions on them. And I remember I had the one of Craig T. Nelson drinking the worm from the bottle. I don't remember what the caption was, but it was good.
Nah,
I remember, and I want to find a set of those cards one day and see if they were as good as I remember. Talking Sith says, "Hey guys, if you had to pitch a Star Wars what if scenario for Disney Plus, what would it be?"
What if a Star Wars series was more than 6 episodes?
Whoa.
Which we're getting in a month. We're going to find out.
Yeah. I mean, because I was just talking about horror stuff. I think something spooky would be fun. We were talking yesterday about like the Witches of Dathomir and stuff like that. It would be kind of cool to see. I guess I would say make some goth Star Wars. Let's fucking do it. You know, it would be fun. That's what I would probably want them to do.
If I was going to do a horror piece, there was a campaign I used to run on Star Wars RPG back in the 90s. It was my horror campaign. It was a group of rebels or whatever have to go into the Hoth base to get some plans that were left behind, some data they needed. And it's overrun with fucking wampas and fucking horrible shit down there. You know what I mean? Like those probe droids that like survived and then like, you know, merged with the fucking stormtrooper bodies and all sorts of. There's all sorts of cool little creepy shit you can do in Star Wars.
I just wrote a sequel to your campaign. It's Luke Skywalker, and he's like trying to find a new place for his Jedi Order after Return of the Jedi. He's like looking at the snow planet. He's like on like Ilum. He's like, maybe Ilum is the place. And then he looks out, and then he sees like a little horsey out in the distance. But then as he looks closer at the Tauntaun, and it just shakes his head, and it's the ghost of the Tauntaun. They cut open and put him inside, and it haunts him now.
Not for nothing, Jason. I'm literally just drew a little horsey. Right there. I drew a little My Little Pony looking thing. Like that's fun. I've never done that. It's odd that you.
Well, your Brony book is gonna take off this time. I know it.
I'm reminded of the Star Wars story. It's in the making of the Attack of the Clones or the Phantom Menace. I think the Phantom Menace, but the Art of book, and Ian McKay and Ryan and some other artists were sitting there sketching. They were sitting across from one another, and they both is like, "Hey man, what about giving like Padme like this eagle or bird or something?" And then he held it up, and he's like, "Dude!" And then he held up his drawing, and he was doing the exact same thing, but they weren't talking to one another. I was like, man, it's the weird ether, right?
Tim Roberts is gonna get you pregnant, Rob. Gonna get you pregnant.
Who's Tim Roberts?
Tim Roberts says, "Rob, you're a fine specimen."
Oh, yeah. I can't see that. I'm drawing, but okay, thank you.
Hangman says, "Are you ready for either a series or a film in the sequel era?" Sure. I mean, I pretty much don't really I really kind of don't have a huge preference if it's something new, because I think it's like the story opportunities are kind of the same. They didn't really make the sequel trilogy era so different, just different designs. So it's like, it's all cool to me.
Not for nothing, my actual answer to that what if thing is make an actual full length thing out of the Ninth Jedi. Like that's my whole thing right there.
Do a true samurai film with Star Wars kind of.
Well, the Ninth Jedi is great because it's not just it's got 80s inspired. It's got everything. It's got cool robots. It's got a mystery.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
It's got multiple red sabers.
Yeah. Are there your... And then do you care about era? Do you think era matters a lot in terms of like a premise for like a show like Skeleton Crew, since it's kind of the theme of the day? Does it kind of matter? Do you think when it's set? To me, not really. Doesn't. The premise is, if the premise is good, it'll fit anywhere, right?
Also, like, bro, if they come up with a new era, they got to design every little fucking thing, and all that pre-production is money and time and decisions. So if you set it in an era where you already got assets built, you know what you're dealing, and you can build off it. That's kind of the whole idea. I know people kind of like, whenever I hear folks say they're tired of this era of Star Wars, they want a new one, I go, yeah, that's like saying there's comic book fatigue. You just keep saying that over and over again, you believe it, but then the numbers come in and they fucking love it. So I'm like, no, that's not it at all. You just want to see unpredictable stories. Yeah. You know what I mean? The era is irrelevant. Long as it looks and feels like Star Wars, it's all good.
Right. Yeah. Skylor wants to ask if I've been to the train yard recently. I have, and pretty much the same stuff from what I saw recently. So nothing new to report at this time. And Jedi X16 is going to give me that pizza. Give me that pizza. Come on, girl. Let me buy that pizza. Whoa, what happened? What happened? Here we go. Hello Me says, Hello Me says, hey, Skylar, I have. And they had what looked like Sabine's helmet, but it was mostly yellow compared to her purple. What? Could be another Mandalorian, but who knows? Tyrant says, spiritual reparations, motherfuckers. Whoa. Okay, Tyrant. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Hardcore.
Yeah, I had a good holiday. I'm still exhausted for some reason, though. I don't know why. Hey, how's it going, Jason? Walks through cantina doors and stares at those in the room. Did you see that proposal for like that UFO amendment yesterday? It looks pretty cool. I don't know if it'll pass or if it'll go anywhere, but basically says if you whistle blow and they have to tell them everything about the UFOs, and if they don't, you can whistle blow, not get in trouble. You can't be sued. Your NDA. So that's good for like Elizondo. Elizondo would be able to say everything in theory. Rosie says, sorry, I don't know much about production stuff, but where will they be filming at California State University? Do they have a studio there for students that they're filming at? Most likely. I don't want to say too much, and I don't really necessarily want to like dox the location. Like that's always been kind of the thing about stuff is I don't want to disrupt the production, you know? I don't mind going over and taking a gander, but honestly though, I don't know at the same time. Like I haven't really looked into that very much. But most likely there's a plot of land that the university has leased out to Disney. That's probably what's going on there. When I was at Fullerton, we had like a big pool. And if a TV series for like the CW or something was needing like a big pool scene, they would often, and it wasn't swimming season when they weren't doing that stuff, they would oftentimes rent that out for a few weeks to a month or so. And then the student union would get a bunch of fucking money from it. So it's probably something similar to that in some way. That's just a guess. But they also, the people who could go around spying and stuff would be students, but they could literally kick you out of school for that. So it's kind of probably kind of a good situation in a way because the locals could get kicked out of school for trespassing. So Ty Cox says, Jason, could you in the next video sometime in the future talk about Star Wars Tales of the Jedi? I don't have anything to add to it at the moment. I feel like most of the stuff of that one's out. I'm actually a little bit bummed by the smaller scope of it. I'm looking forward to it though. It's going to be cool to see Qui-Gon and Dooku, like that relationship explored. And my only hope for it is like once it comes out, we're like, well, that did it all. Like that was the premise. I feel like everything you could want from it is there, but we're basically getting like 2 30-minute cartoons out of it when you add it all up. So, but it could be. I mean, it could be cool. I'm not super excited about the Ahsoka one.
Wait, 2 30-minute, so 2 individual 30-minute or like 2 15-minute?
I think it's 3. I think it's 6 episodes,
90 minutes each. Right?
No, like they're shorts. They're like 10-minute episodes.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. They're really
man.
really short.
I hate to be a sour sort.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous. Like,
yeah, short. I think somebody saw one of them and thought they were. One of them, somebody told me they felt like it was about 8 or 9 minutes. The other one they felt like was about 12 minutes, and I think there's three for Ahsoka, 3 for Qui-Gon and Dooku. And from what I understand, I don't know if it's true, but what I heard was it was done under like the budget line of like Bad Batch. Like they found the money that was left over from one of the other shows that they
how about just cancel
used.
Bad Batch and just do this? Like seriously.
Yeah.
Like I know we got friends who love that show, but there ain't nothing I've seen in that show that's worth turning it back on for. It's whatever they showed you, they could leave it there and be like, that was it. What happened to him? Continue in a Marvel comic. Like you don't need this, man. Like the Tales from the Jedi premise actually is shit I think more people are interested in seeing. I don't get this. So all right, man. Yay, we get 3 10-minute webisodes. Can't wait.
That's what it sounds like it is in the end. I'm not sure it may be. I mean, it is easy to get down on it and to be like, oh well, but it really, this may be the only way they can get a pilot made. Basically, it could be that. I'm not saying it is, but this might be Filoni being like, I want to do this thing. Nobody's really moving on it. They found a way to make this happen. This comes out, and then people fucking watch the fuck out of it because it has Qui-Gon and Dooku in it, and then we start getting it as a regular series. I think that's the future. My
frustration isn't that this is how it's being done. It's that it had to be done this way to get done. That you understand what I mean? I don't know. I'm never like, me. I'm not like Disney Star Wars. I'm not that dude. But this sounds like Disney. This is classic Disney bullshit with their animation. And this is the one they canceled the fucking DuckTales for no reason. It was fucking amazing. Like just because they're like, whoa, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like,
wubba.
And the people I know on that production they didn't see that coming either.
Yeah. Talking Sis says agree. a lot of untapped potential in Dathomir, Force Magic. 9 3/4 Jedi would be sweet. Yeah, they I definitely don't want them to go back into that like zombie movie thing. I'm like really done with zombie movies. I feel zombie movie tapped out. I don't want to see a zombie movie for a long time right now. But
yeah, it sucks, man. They really ran that shit right into the ground, didn't they, with The Walking Dead and everything else, man. Like,
yeah, and it all started so good and ended so uninspired. The Talking Sith said
with Zack Snyder.
Yeah. The era is actually Zach's. That's probably like the only movie he made. I'm like that's cool. Like,
No. I'm talking about the new Army of the Dead. You're thinking of
Dawn
yeah,
of the Dead.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. The one that you're thinking of, Dawn of the Dead, is because James Gunn wrote it.
Oh yeah, that one was fun. Era is irrelevant, says the Talking Sith. They just need to shift where it takes place in the galaxy. It's big enough. You could have contained stories running parallel. Exactly. I mean, the Star Wars galaxy is so big, you could do a series and not even truly know when it takes place. Like they could do that to us, you know?
Yeah.
Like and it would be that would honestly be kind of a rad thing if they ever did that. Then all of a sudden, like on like the final episode, you see like First Order stormtroopers or whatever, and you're just like, oh shit, or something we never saw before, and you're like, oh shit, you know?
Right, you watch The Ninth Jedi. I don't know what year that is.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Right. So, Aria got that new Star Wars book, and it's 496 pages, and she's like, what the fuck is this, grad school? I'm pretty sure
Star
that
Wars
was
book is that? Oh, the Sith, Shadows of the Sith?
I think so, yeah. I think it was Shadows of the Sith. Yeah. Great title, guys. 496 pages worth of title there. Hangman Entertainment says, do you think channels like Mike Zero are the cause of some of the fan base being bitter? No, I wouldn't blame it on Mike Zero. Honestly, I think the Mike Zero is just somebody who capitalizes on the fact that he sees the outrage, or he understands it and then knows how to just like cater things to get, some AdSense bucks. So I think he definitely probably makes it worse for people with certain expectations for specific stupid shit. Like, I just want to see a Jedi pull down a Star Destroyer with the Force. And then like he sells that and then it doesn't happen. They're like, oh, I wanted to see that. Oh,
you make fun of that. And that was your favorite episode of Obi-Wan, when Vader pulled down a ship with the Force.
That wasn't my favorite part.
That was your favorite episode, though.
No. Darth Vader's done that to me on Star Tours. Okay, a Star Destroyer. They want he riffs on the Star Killer from the Force Unleashed pulling the Star Destroyer down.
Yes.
From space. It's like,
yeah, well, it's pretty close, man.
It's a little different. I mean, we saw that in episode 9 with Rey and Chewbacca's transport and stuff. Like that kind of thing. I actually don't love that either, though. I'm not a big fan of it. But I think the real bad shit are like the people who just have never had anything good to say and continually like are attempting to strangle the franchise because they think Star Wars is the place to have their culture war. It's fucking weird. It really doesn't make any sense. All it does is make a bunch of people unhappy, and it does not further their cause whatsoever. It's really
it's
weird.
Like for me, it's not the same thing, but it's a similar situation where like if I wanted, it took me a long time to find an MMA like discussion that didn't involve just betting picks. Mm-hmm. Here's your bets, pick your bet. Like I don't want to hear betting, but I want to hear about the talking of the matches, what happened, their history going in. Like I want actual analysis.
Will Tito Ortiz make a good mirror of Huntington Beach?
Or they turn it into their like stand up, like we're going to be a future Joe Rogan stand up, so it's all stand up and no MMA. Like it's ridiculous. That's why I try to keep the humor Star Wars related, but we move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is so people tune in for Star Wars, but then they get this whole fucking other thing,
Just like thinking about somebody who's like, I'm gonna be the next Joe Rogan. Chuck Liddell. Hey, reminds me of Dell computers. What was up with those, right? Yeah.
Someone was making, man, some of them make really, I feel bad sometimes for like younger folks when they have to hear inside references to shit that even I knew wasn't cool for us.
Right.
Like Summer School. Like,
it's like Summer School. Mark Harmon.
Yeah. Mark Summers.
Mark Summers was pretty cool because when you watch, Mark Summers has really bad OCD, which is not cool, not for him, for anybody for that matter, but hilarious that the guy with OCD works on Double Dare, where it's just like boogers and slime and shit all day. Like, it's just fun to rewatch it and be like, what's going on in there? What's going on in that mind?
The only person who could have been picked for that would have been even better to watch would be Howie Mandel. Like if Howie Mandel had been the host of Double Dare, which I could easily see, sure, and simultaneously is freaking the fuck out because he's a germaphobe.
Yeah.
Inside, he's just a rage of.
Maybe they could do a show with Howie Mandel and Summers, and like they have to like do disgusting challenges with Joe Rogan and the one who can do it. Oh, they're kind of, well, I guess Howie Mandel's probably rich. Anyways,
they all just want to dodge taxes.
But yeah, what I find weird about like the current state of like the fandom menace stuff is it's like literally the culture war, if you want to call it that, but they're just counting their losses because it's reactionary. It's like, oh, there's somebody gay in a Star Wars thing. Oh, now I'm flipping out about Kathleen Kennedy, but it already happened. It's done. Like they got a black stormtrooper. Let's flip out about it. It's done. It already happened. It's a thing already. Like it's filmed. And so it's just I don't know. It's a loser treadmill. And as a loser who's been on a treadmill, I know when I see one. So anyways, Hello Me says Skylor, not from memory. Maybe I need to watch it again, but I thought the helmet was purple and pink. Although Sabine changes her helmet colors a lot based on her mood. What is going on right now? Jason says, yeah, the UFO legislation could benefit us in the long run for sure. And Jason,
color me skeptical, bro. When I see conservatives pushing for UFO truth.
Yeah,
you know, I get real skeptical about all of it. You know, like what's their grift here?
On this one, for what it's worth, it's bipartisan. Like that was put through by, I don't remember the name.
Yeah, but why do they care? Like normally we would want to shut everything down, you know?
Right.
And it can't. And these are people that are like super fucking evangelical, so called. So what is their? I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like there's something here, Jason. I haven't figured it out yet, but I will. I will.
Yeah. I mean, I try to be optimistic and hope that it's just that they want to know something about our reality, you know? And that's what I hope.
Yeah, the inquisitive minds really want to know.
Oh my God. Bespin Bulletin, that's funny. I can't talk about it on the show, but it's funny. Ty Cox says, Jason, do you know when Star Wars Tales of the Jedi will officially come out this fall? I haven't heard anything about a release date. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if there actually is one. Things seem like with Disney Plus over the past couple of, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 months, everything has felt super fluid until like they have to like really say when it's going to be. Like right now, we're going to have Bad Batch with Cassian Andor. And like the question I have with Andor and Bad Batch airing at the same time, are they going to come out at the same time on, what is it, Tuesday night? Or will they move Bad Batch to a different release time? If I had my way, if they were cool, they would release the show Monday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That way people, you know, could watch it on the West Coast at 8 p.m. and people on the East Coast who were willing to stay up a little bit later could watch it as well. And then I think that would just make a better communal experience for viewing these things together and then talking about them somewhat together, as opposed to putting it out at midnight and then everybody wakes up and sees it over the next 24 hours, you know, in their own weird thing. But
randomly.
But what do I know?
Although they're 8 minutes long, so just take a good dump at work, come back to the show, talk about it.
I can't lie. I had a job, and when Clone Wars came out, and I had it on iTunes, and I would go, oh, I'm gonna hit the restroom, and I'd go in there, and I would watch the episode if I hadn't seen it. Good times.
Yeah.
Hello Me says, what if they release images for aliens and they turned out to look like Jar Jar? That'd be cool. That'd be all right. Although it would be kind of weird if all of that really creepy sex stuff that happens to abductees. I don't know about that. Jar Jar invasion. That's what Co Bibble was warning us about.
The problem with that hypothesis is the design for Jar Jar just took way too much effort for it to be something that naturally occurs and it's within our DNA to figure out. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of effort went into that for that to magically appear out in the cosmos.
You're saying God is lazy. Fair enough.
Yeah. Mike, have you seen half the shit in the ocean?
Does that look like seen his face? You didn't spend much time on it. Mike
Mark
says,
Harmon and Mark Summers, they look a lot alike.
Mike, at the start of the show, we talked about how Skeleton Crew is filming and you can get the full story on bestbinbulletin.org. .com. So the first Ahsoka tells the Jedi. Okay, so Talking Sis says the first Ahsoka tells the Jedi is 17 minutes without credits. That's just so the first episode is actually 17 minutes itself, because that's better. Joel Williamson says Jason just wants more goth girls in Star Wars. I cannot confirm or deny that accusation.
And
Richie, hey, anything to make this fan base cooler, Richie says, I love Bad Batch. I'm someone who does like the series. I enjoy going on gun-based adventures with these weird clones. Crosshair being my favorite, seeing they based him off the man with no name, Clint. Yeah, my thing with it is the weird runaround with the show has tested my patience, where I cared enough that if it was like, here's what it is, I'd be like, okay. But adding anticipation to the Bad Batch in the era when I'm watching a fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi show, gonna have Skeleton Crew and Ahsoka's coming out and Mando 3 and Grogu's in a mech. I'm like, give me a fucking break, you guys. Like, make it a little easier on us with the Bad Batch shit. Like, this isn't like fucking the sequel trilogy. It's the Bad Batch. That's also, where they got me mad.
What we're talking about here is you don't need 16 fucking episodes of it. You could have done an 8-episode thing of Bad Batch and gotten enough and given us 8 episodes of Tales of the Jedi. Like, this is not an if and and or thing for me. It's that Bad Batch that's not a story that demands 16. It's not even a procedural cartoon like Transformers where they're having like, well, you're going to get the Energon this time, buddy. Like, it drags.
Yeah.
It really drags.
For me to go one last thing on Bad Batch is I need to know what the guide is. Like, is she looking for her brother? Does it matter that Boba Fett's like what it was so left like into the mystery realm of it that I don't care. And if season 2 really like gives me that, I feel like there's a direction, I'll probably be more invested. But right now I'm like, I don't even know if we're gonna pick up on the fact that she's Boba Fett's sister. Is that even relevant to the series? Right now I have no fucking idea. So I don't know if I care. And she doesn't have, for the record, she doesn't have to be Boba Fett's sister for me to care. I just don't know what they're just like clones out in space, and that's fine. But it's not like, oh, when's Bad Batch coming back? When the clone's gonna get back out in space? The clones are always out in space. So Tyrant says, best case for Star Wars horror, in my own opinion, or in my opinion, would be a Terminator 1 style movie with a new threat, Sith. That's what I kind of thought Vader in Rogue One was going to be handled based on reports, and he was to a degree. So, yeah. Okay, wait. That's weird. I got a text, but the number. Who are you, texter? Because it doesn't have your name. I don't know why. Yeah, Tales of the Jedi Episode 1 premiered at Celebration 1. Watch the actual recorded it's 17 minutes. Okay, so I take it back. It's a little bit longer than I thought, but probably going to end up being. Then if we just assume they were all 17 minutes, then we are talking like an hour's worth of content, though, probably at the most, right? So
hey, that's better than 30 minutes.
No, that's kind of what I thought it would be. I just thought they were each shorter, but anyways, yeah. But the whole like Terminator premise with Star Wars. I mean, when we saw that shot from Book of Boba Fett, that was like the Terminator Doomsday on Mandalore shots and stuff like that kind of shit. Like there's such an opportunity for them to play with more genre here.
So good.
It was so good.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite single episode of all the TV Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Is you put my Terminator in that shit, and for me, man, like it just sets up like had this all come out before episode 9, 7, 8, 9, like militarized fascist Mandos would have been a great, you know what I mean, like counterpart to a new Jedi Order versus just another evil Emperor type surrogate character with one more apprentice who wants to rule. It would have been different.
But he's playing 4D chess, bud, where they're all playing checkers, dude.
They should try, yeah, but they could be playing 40K Warhammer with the Mandos, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, little miniatures and shit. Spend a lot of money.
But that's what that joke I made is like the problem with that my fear, like I said, for Thrawn is like Snoke. They were like, yeah, he's playing 4D chess. You guys don't even know what's going on. And they're like, you know what? We don't actually know how to do that. We don't really know how to pull that off. And so, oh yeah, he's just a, giant test tube baby. Remember what's the joke in the 80s? I think we just mentioned.
You know what they're going to have to do? Mm-hmm. That's where you got to hire people that aren't fans of Star Wars, and write like really smart miniseries out the UK. You know what I mean? Like procedural, like cop things that are super smart and shit. Like, I don't know. There's something out. I know there's something out. There's always something out there smart. Like, get the fucking Black Mirror dudes to come in there and write you some weird shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's weird, Josh. I don't know why your contact changed for me, but I'll fix it. Neil says, I'm with you, Rob. Much more interested in Tales of the Jedi versus Bad Batch. And I wouldn't be like opposed to them sort of just picking sort of a set style for these shows, like the Clone Wars Bad Batch style, and just making that like a general like look of these shows, and just keep doing them with less commitment to the bigger stories. And then if the story should explode and become exponentially bigger, then that's great. But errand of the week shows, I don't really need that in my Star Wars. Unless it has a little Grogu because he's so adorable. Luke Winchester says, what's up, guys? Hope all is good. I highly recommend Shadow of the Sith. Okay. Maybe I will audiobook it while I play Fortnite, because this Fortnite side gig it's killing me, guys. It's killing me. Indiana Jones came out yesterday. I solved the puzzle. I didn't want to read anything, so I wanted to just like do it on my own. And I solved the like there's like a temple. I got to like solve like this like puzzle. I know how to do it now. I got it down, but I had to do it 3 times because I got to do it for each of my kids and myself, because it's a bit complicated. And then when Bespin gets on today, though, I'm gonna be his Sala. I'm gonna be his guide. I'll take him through if he hasn't done it. And but anyways, in that game, I'm super impressed by how it matches you to your play style or to like your skill level or something. Because when I get on my account and I go to that like temple, it's a bunch of fairly good players, but people were actually like not kill me, and I would open it up for them and I would take them through it. Like we were helping each other. We can't talk. It was silent, but everybody just like, okay, we want this. Thank you. Everybody was cool. I get on my daughter's when my daughter plays with me, she's like super like helpful. She like sticks by my side, plays pretty well. But my son, he's a maniac. Is he here? Is that you right there? Is that my daughter right there? It's my daughter right there. So I could say my son's a maniac. And I get onto that one. I get to that temple. It's just everybody's fucking just spawn camping, trying to kill you as you get through the thing. Nobody's getting anything done the whole time. Finally, I got really pissed off. I killed everybody in that temple, like Kylo Ren style. I killed everybody in that temple, and then I went in. I didn't even need to anymore. And I was just like, "This is look at what this has done to me. Look at the man this has made me." So, anyways, Fortnite's matching stuff, it's pretty good. Gotta say, it's pretty good. But I got Indiana Jones yesterday, and I got Indiana Jones from Temple of Doom, where like his shirt's all ripped and stuff. Like that was the hard one to get when you do the temple. That's the one that you unlock is the Temple of Doom costume. And his glider is the raft from Temple of Doom. It's so fucking good. They finally did something right for once. And the only thing I could be critical about the whole thing is there's no whip. His emote is his hat. He like takes his hat off and kind of like shakes it out how he does in Last Crusade, which I appreciated. But there was like no whip, no whip pickaxe. The pickaxe is the staff of Ra, which is pretty fucking cool at the same time. But I would have preferred it to it. Like if I was Indiana Jones whipping fucking shit to break it, I would never get tired of that. Watch out, boys and girls. Ryan Mathis says Mike Zero is my idol. You know, he's got a dartboard. He's got a cool hat on backwards. It looks like he's like, hey man, want to get some pizza? I ever tell you about that time Jeff Bridges was in Star Wars? Like, I get it. I get why he's famous. Uh-oh. It's my sleepy girl. But you got Temple of Doom Indy, don't you? You don't really care though, huh?
He does have strong ties to the Sonic and Dragon Ball Z community.
This is true. He got kicked out of the Dragon Ball Z community. Just kind of funny in a weird way. But Shadows of the Sith should have been a Disney Plus series. Maybe one day they'll do something like that. Maybe one day we will see one of these novels. I do think if they did it just one time, made a Star Wars novel into a series or into a Disney Plus movie, it would elevate the heck out of those books. People would be like, oh, this one might be the next series, and it would last forever. We would never hear about how every single thing was going to be a movie or a show. But I do think they should write those things like they are shows. Like that was, when they made those young adult Star Wars books, like there was one about Bail Organa in like deep space with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I can't remember what it was called. Might have been called Deep Space. I have no idea now. But
it was called Big Shots.
Big Shots. 1987's Big Shots. But also there was a bunch of Boba Fett novels about young Boba Fett trying to collect the money from Dooku. Dooku's not paying his bills. Dooku's like, I'm paying you. People aren't giving him back the Slave One. But anyways, that era or that genre of book felt more Star Wars like than any novel to me. It encapsulated like the episodic vibe of Star Wars. And that's one of the things I wish the novels did better was I wish they felt more cinematic at times without feeling like you were reading a movie script. But if they could ever...
The only one that's done it for me recently is the Ronin.
The Ronin.
Yeah, I'm the only one who read it.
He's a big fan of
the only one who read
Ronin book. Yeah. I don't like Reddit. But they're not nice to me there. Sorry, bad joke. Hello Me says he is the best YouTuber, not clickbaiter ever. This is true. Zero wrong is what I say. That's what I say about Mike Zero. Zero wrong. Mike Zero, Luke pulls down a Star Destroyer, then it doesn't happen and people get pissed. Then comes episode 9, damn it. Jason, you made my point. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what happens. And what was always infuriating to me is like when I go and release like the real information and then people get mad at me. It's like, and then Mike Zero's over here just making shit up and getting hundreds of thousands of views. And I'm like, this world is stupid. Aria says Mike Zero's clickbait is far worse. Kathleen Kennedy got fired. Ray hates Kenobi. Mark Hamill hates Kenobi. He has used these clickbaits 500 times by now. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know how the YouTube rules work, but I'm surprised he doesn't get in trouble for like spam, because he'll like. But the thing about it is, people will go like, "Oh, I really respect his work ethic. Like, it's really good. Like, but it's really not when you look at what he does. It's like it's the same. Well, he records like the live action part of his videos like 30 seconds. I don't know. They're really short. I don't know how long they really are, but they're like really short.
When you make shit up, you can keep. Sorry, she's dark. When you make stuff up, all day long. You can do it in 30 seconds. You can do it in 5 minutes. You're just making shit up. Like, it's not. How many jokes and conjurings do I just spontaneously do in any show we do, Jason?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, just these people are fucking gullible. Like, if you want to go there and be rused every day, you get a kick out of it. Great, have at it, Haas. But like, I'm not interested in turning on a show that goes, "Hey, here's all the stuff you're gonna get in a Ninja Turtles comic book," and then it never happens. And I just keep turning into it every month, expecting the next Turtles comic to have all the stuff that's never in it. I don't get that. You know?
Yeah. No, I don't understand. I mean, if Mike Zero was called Mike Zero Star Wars Speculation or something like that, and he said this is a speculation channel, everything is speculative, then I would be like, cool, like everybody have fun, use your imaginations thinking about this universe that you love, and it would be completely appropriate, and it would even be a very good channel. It's not too late. You could always come back to the light side, Mike Zero. Always come back to the light side. Tyrant says, as somebody with severe clinical diagnosed OCD for the last, say, 25 years, there are a lot of generalizations about it, but for the most part, if I say I know something is just made to look like, okay, where did Tyrant's message go? Something gross or other obsessive thoughts. It's not just germs. It usually isn't a trigger. Being splashed with slime wouldn't bother me. Okay, but somebody walking in it and then coming in contact, F no. Gotcha. I can see that. I kind of understand it. In no way do I have OCD, so I can't, I will say I empathize, but not to say I know what it's like, man. But
I thought he was in summer school, so what do I know?
the sound effect of pouring water drives me absolutely crazy. The one that you used to hear in 80s TV commercials. I don't know why. I don't know if there's childhood trauma with the sound and I just haven't put it together yet or what, but I hate it. And so I could just kind of imagine that feeling being sort of similar. Like,
it's from that time you were actually abducted by aliens.
Yeah, right. And they waterboarded me on their spaceship.
Yeah. Well, Space Liam Neeson just pissed on you.
and he was always with me. Okay.
Yeah, he was always
yes. So the newest Mike Zero video, Kathleen Kennedy hires James Caan to star in Rogue Squadron. Now it's canceled. Did she kill James Caan? Red eyes in the featured image. But
it's not hard, see? It's not hard.
Not hard.
You can do this all day. It'd be way easier than you going and getting running down by parking lot attendants and spending gas money during the highest gas prices we've ever had to get like a shot of a foot. You know what I mean? Like it's some blue screen. You're putting way more effort in, Jason. That's all I'm saying.
Eric says, did Rob get confused between Shawnee Smith and Courtney Thorne Smith in summer school?
No, I never get confused by Shawnee Smith. All right, she was in An Iron Eagle and Who's Harry Crumb. What I was saying was I could pick her out of a crowd, no problem. I got confused by your girl and Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
Courtney, whatever her name is, because she was also in Revenge of the Nerds too, right? Or am I confusing her with someone else?
Yeah,
I'm not looking at
Nerds in Paradise.
Because I thought that was Leah. I thought that was Leah Thompson too when I saw Revenge of the Nerds too. Yeah.
I just don't even get this one because like Leah Thompson's like a brunette and Courtney Thorne Smith's like a blonde. Like I'm just gonna say we were like if this was like a police
in my defense
lineup,
CRT
different.
televisions weren't color calibrated properly.
Okay, I think we solved it. I think we just solved your problem.
Like when I played Mario Brothers, the sky was kind of purpley, So my sense of color is a little different.
I remember as a kid, there was like a white line on some bricks in Mario that would maybe denote where a secret brick was that you can hit. And some, not all TVs were the same quality. So that white line you couldn't see on some TVs. And I was convinced that there were different versions of the Mario game. One time I even convinced a friend to bring his Mario to my house so we could check it. And it was there on mine and it wasn't there on his. So yeah.
Or what you were saying is you were sort of made for conspiracy theories.
Right? True. Well, remember in the 80s, you would always have that friend who's like, hey, I heard that they put like nuclear launch codes on certain copies of Super Mario, and if you beat it, you could actually see the codes. Oh, that was I always heard that shit as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Cloak and Dagger was like would come after Cloak and Dagger would come on TV, you'd always hear it.
Dad, my basket breaks.
Yeah, I always wanted to like that film, but I just couldn't pay attention.
It doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. Yeah.
I was a War Games guy.
War Games was by far better, and it got Ali Sheedy to come to his house, to his bedroom, way cooler. Tim Roberts,
and it got me my first French kiss.
Oh yeah, good work at Matthew Broderick.
That story.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick. I don't know what was he? Kind of a killer. Lord Tasman says, "What happened to that droid's a Star Wars story?" Yeah, a droid's tale, a droid story. Yeah, it's being made right now. They were doing me and old BB the Bulletin believe that they were doing some mocap work for it there. I think he might have a story on it bestmanbulletin.gov. But yeah, Bestman said that's how I watch Bad Batch, Rob, taking a dump and putting it on 1.75 speed.
Quote, that's the comment of the day.
It's a lot funnier too
catches when you know the day.
When you know that, I don't know, that Welsh accent and you hear it in your head. It's pretty funny what he said. Something Tyrant says something. Oh yeah, we already read that one. Rosie says, what if Skeleton Crew is a Jason's and Dula story of sorts? Skeleton Crew almost seems like an offshoot or pun of the Ghost Crew from Rebels, and we know Hera and Chopper are definitely in Ahsoka. You know what? Maybe, right? I mean, it could definitely like ring true of the Ghost Crew and Skeleton Crew. I'm always looking at it. I've always looked at it in terms of Skeleton Crew is the bare minimum of a crew to get a ship sailing. Or in movie making, when you don't want people to know that Kylo Ren dies, you film it with the Skeleton Crew. But then everybody goes, they're filming something with the Skeleton Crew and we're not invited. And then everybody talks about it and then it leaks anyway. So, and Seth, I agree. Justice for Jar Jar. But I do like where I like where your head's at, Rosie. I think that really could be the case, because like it would give Hera some kind of character motivation for her existence, like other than, boy, it's hard to be a single mom post rebellion. Like, you know, I mean, that's fine. I give the character a nice like post, you know, her husband or her boyfriend, baby daddy's dead, was Jedi, now he's dead, and you know, the crew's disbanded and she has a kid. It's like, okay, you know, like we need to find Ezra, but that would make it into something interesting. And I wouldn't mind if they took it that way. I kind of hope that happens now. But I'm also a little bit like I hope a half Twi'lek green kid with Freddie Prinze Jr. for a dad. I hope that plays well in live action on screen. You know what I mean? Like I hope that looks good, because it could just look like that. I don't know, one of those Marvel heroes, like that little Hulk boy. You know, I don't know what that.
No, you know what it'll look like? It'll look exactly like remember when they did the Hellboy kid in the first Hellboy movie, and he had those like chiclet teeth.
Yeah.
Little kid in red makeup.
I'm thinking Frankie Muniz and Grogu put together. Huh?
Yeah, we'll just paint him red, and that's exactly what I just described to you.
Okay.
You should go rewatch the sequence.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen all of Hellboy. It just wasn't for me. So yeah, I did. My friend Eric Peterson has a good comic called Space Bastards, if anybody's looking for a comic to read. And one time he showed me the sequence of Hellboy crying in the shower, and I was in tears. It was just so funny to me. It was just it's so funny.
It's not the comic. I know people go, oh, it's great, Rob, great makeup. Yeah, there's interesting creature designs. The comic is more like the movie Pan's Labyrinth, and Hellboy is more like Men in Black. Like every time they put one of those together, I keep going, Sony just trying to make another Men in Black, ain't they? And Hellboy ain't that. The comic it's like Coraline. It's solemn and quiet, you know, and vast landscapes and tone. And the Hellboy movies is like, oh, here's a weapon, goop over everybody, you know, like that's Men in Black, you know.
Right.
Sorry.
Hey, Penny. Sorry, you like Stranger Things? You like Stranger Things? You like Goonies? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you like Star Wars Goonies, Star Wars Stranger Things? Would that be cool? No, you wouldn't watch that? Skeleton Crew not happening? Fair enough. But once you see the trailer and it comes out, you're gonna want to stay up every night and watch it, right? Yeah, I know you. I know your tricks. Vitor says, I just want more bounty hunters, velociraptors, and mohawks in Star Wars.
Yeah, I've been telling people don't sleep on that dinosaur from Obi-Wan. That's my favorite part of that whole series. The fact that we can get to velociraptor bounty hunters now. Like, why isn't that greenlit in the very next show that they're doing? Like, I don't know.
In Star Wars Galaxies, my character had a big pink mohawk. He had a big pink mohawk with cool space goggles. It kind of looked like one of the droids guys from the Droids cartoon. And I was Bossa Nova because it's my favorite Pixies record. So yeah,
I'm a big fan of the comic and video game, especially the video game Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Now we can get Carillion Corvettes and dinosaurs. Look, I can do this all day, Mike Zero. You know, like, this is not hard. You don't have a special talent. You just got real fucking. Your special talent is grifting, folks. That's the thing I can't do.
Can we make it? Can we make our channel Mike Zero +1?
Do you legally change his name to Mike Zero so we can't? Who did it? Someone legally changed their name to something. Who was it? It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Ultimate Warrior legally changed his name to Warrior so you could trademark Warrior. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember Cornette was with this loser.
Yeah. Mike. Hey, Mike Porter, how are you, dude? Missed you, man. Hopefully Santa gets better so we can get our Mike Porter dad jokes going. We need those. Hello Me says, well, Bad Batch was peak cinema, to be fair. It just needed better direction. Uh-oh.
Peak cinema.
And less filler episodes.
It failed to have a minecart race with minecarts. I'm sorry, I love you, but no.
I'm glad it worked for them. Seth Nichols says, I just finished the Indiana Jones stuff, even the extra style. Good job. Good job, Seth. Yeah, it was fun.
I'm not glad it worked for you. I'm not letting it go.
Bespin says, Dragon Ball Z content coming to Fortnite. Myself and Mike Zero are very excited. Man, Bespin Bulletin sent me a very interesting GIF because I couldn't believe it existed of what's his name? Grogu? What's the Goku? What's the guy's name? Goku? Yeah. And sorry. Boomer here.
Well, that's exactly where they got it from, in case you're wondering.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, and boy, that guy's a little weirdo. I'll say that much, according to the GIFs I've seen. Darth Bane, what's Bane up to? Hey, Eric says, yo, Penny. That's Christopher's daddy. Remember Christopher? Yeah. Gotta hang out with them pretty soon. Seth Nico says, wasn't there a rumor of some Padme book getting adapted? If they ever said that, it was completely bullshit, I would say. That's just my guess. I'd love to be wrong, though, because I like Padme. Hello Me says, yeah, I think Queen's Hope Padme novel might become a movie. What? There were rumors? I don't know about that. I gotta be honest. I don't think so. I would love to be wrong. I doubt it. Arya says, Jason, look at Mike Zero's channel right now and see what the titles of the 3 videos he posted are. Laughing. I can't do that. But you could tell me. 5-Speed Ben says, Zero's a joke. I think Kennedy fires Hayden. I think that's his latest. They're absurd. It's 100% bad fan fiction. He's like, oh, I'm fired again? Okay. All right.
Again.
Okay. Well, after episode 3, he's like, got laid off. I became redundant. Sorry. That's my idea of a Canadian accent. Hey, Baymax, how's it going, dude?
I've seen Strange Brew. It's not too far off.
Strange Brew is pretty good.
Yeah.
Strange Brew is pretty good. When they put the fire out the end, one of the most influential scenes. Times. I mean, Liam Neeson sees that ending, and he's like, "That's how you end a Star Wars movie." Like, imagine
Tech is in it.
Lord Tech is in it in a Darth Vader suit, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's technically canon. the whole movie.
Hey, Quentin. Quentin's gonna come hang out with us pretty soon. He's any day you're free around the time of the show, just hit me up, dude. I'll send you the invite. Ty Cox says, Jason, do you know if there will be titles for the Andor series episodes? What about the Inquisitors? You know what I find interesting, Ty? There were episodes for the Kenobi episode. There were titles for the Kenobi episodes. And they just went with part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. And can you guess it? Part 6. But so I don't know. There are titles for the episodes, but I don't know if they'll use them. That's Quinn says Ultimate Warrior did do that. He did it. Yeah. As a kid, did you like when the Ultimate Warrior's makeup would start to flake and come off? Like, was that like badass battle damage, or did it make you mad? Because it made me mad.
He was only in matches for like 5 minutes because he couldn't wrestle. So, I really didn't pay that much attention to him. Yeah, like I didn't mind. Like he was fun to use in like the Royal Rumble video game.
In the video game, that's where he got famous. I think the video game made his career.
But in terms of like wrestling, I was like, once Undertaker showed up, I was like, that's my dude. I mean, before it was Brett and then Undertaker and then those two and Razor Ramon eventually I really dug. And then when Jim Cornette showed up, I'm like, because we're from Southern California. I didn't know anything about Jim Cornette. I didn't have access to WCW. It rarely played on TV, maybe on TBS for like an hour on Saturday, and I didn't care. But when Jim Cornette showed up, I was like, he came out, everyone was booing him, right? And Bobby the Brain Heenan, who I loved, was the guy introducing him. And he's in the ring, and he's he's all bashful, like, you people, everyone's like, you suck, we hate you, get out of our wrestling. And I'm like, this is me. I get this. I love this.
I liked the what do you call it when they had like Brother Love, like the manager Brother Love and Paul Bear, like they were just like ridiculous. But yeah, I liked like Mr. Perfect and Ravishing Rick Rude, and
Kurt Hennig was fantastic.
I was more of like I found the bad guys in wrestling to be like, that part of me that really got into punk rock a few years later. Really like that bad guy trolling aspect of the whole thing. That was always fun. But
yeah, the only like baby face or whatever good guy that I ever fucking dug was Macho Man and Bret Hart, I think. Right? I mean, Roddy Piper was like one of those in betweens, and Macho Man still played it in between. Like wasn't really like the good guys were never that great. I never understood the whole point of it. Like, who was rooting for who was like, yeah, Lex Luger's he's wearing, look, he's telling a Samoan pretending to be a Japanese guy to go back to his own country. Yay.
That's weird. That's weird.
Like I just, as a kid, I was like, oh, we're hating on the Japanese. It's 1991, man. 1992.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What year is this? Like my grandpa was like, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
why we just got to appreciate Coco Beware's dance and just remember Coco Beware's dance that he would come out to. That was pretty good. That bird dance he'd do. It's pretty good.
I told you I did security for an apartment complex in the late 90s. And the manager was friends with Coco Beware, and she actually had like photos when she was there picking out the birds and shit. Like she knew him, because I didn't believe her. I'm like, sure, you're friends. And she had, come here, and she had the whole album. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Oh, thank you, Quentin. You don't have to do that, but thank you, Quentin. The Cream Always Rises to the Top was one of the best wrestling promos ever.
It is the best.
What is that? What is that one?
It's Macho Man's basically high as shit, and he's free balling a little shoot like promo piece, right? With Mean Gene, right?
Mean Gene Oakland,
right? Yeah, whatever.
I don't care.
Gene. And he's got this little, because you could tell right off camera they got like a coffee, so he's got those little like cream cups, right? Those little like water cups or whatever. And he goes, yeah, man, the cream rises to the top. And he just flicks the cup at the fucking thing. Yeah, and he's just going around and the cream rises to the top, better than the best. And it's just so fucking good, dude. Like, it's like when you really love grunge music, but you realize they all had to be extremely high to make that. You know, like very few. Same with Macho Man. That could not have been done sober. Like,
yeah,
know, it's of its era for a
performance.
Reason. Yeah.
I will watch it.
Watch that one and better than the best, man.
I forgot we have that ILM trailer to watch. Let's watch that before.
Oh shit.
Yeah. We got all carried away here. There's an ILM documentary coming to Disney Plus pretty soon. And I'll put the trailer on right now. We'll check it out. If you dare. There we go. Share the audio. And then right here. Get rid of the comments. All right. Sounds on. Here we go.
Visual effects create the magic that makes people want to go to the movies.
Willow,
movies are special effects.
We start with an empty frame. Anything is possible.
As audiences see through the illusion, the bar just raises.
How do we do this now? How do we make this look great? I leave it to the geniuses at ILM.
They jump from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids to the Avengers. Like, that's a giant leap.
Industrial, light, and magic.
The history of ILM goes way back.
When I was writing Star Wars, there were no special effects houses in the world. So how are we going to do the effects?
I realized that I was going to have to start a company.
So we didn't really know what we were doing. We were not movie people. George wanted a bunch of guys who didn't know what was impossible.
We were fucking hippies. They didn't get shit done. That's what happened.
This was a long shot.
It still is.
Make it look like a professional movie instead of a bunch of kids having fun.
We realized nothing is impossible.
They were wearing tight shorts and smoking weed all
There was just something here about the people.
Suddenly, everybody wants to come to ILM.
Ron Howard with the cop mustache.
To do things that have never been done before.
Oh, I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
They're pushing technology forward.
There's so many innovations that ILM made. Digital editing, computer graphics.
We developed Pixar to be a cartoon company.
One thing led to another. It turned into Photoshop. Now you could manipulate images.
Visual effects would never be the same again.
I remember that incredible feeling when all you've got is an
Fire
idea.
her.
It was
Fire
so
her.
exciting.
I want to work with people that inspire me. That is the spirit of ILM.
Do you think Doug Chang has cyanide in his earring?
That were unpretentious, brilliant people.
That was our family. We've enjoyed each other's company.
Yes, we water slided. Yes, we were immature, but nobody worked harder. We were the Rebel Alliance.
That song. They kept playing that every fucking day, Jason. You know, they wouldn't stop. I told them, can't we listen to Wolfman Jack or Ricky Nelson or something? And no, that they played Journey all fucking day. I hate this. I hate this.
I believe the official Lucasfilm line was it's about the hero's journey, not journey.
Yeah, that was about losing half your fortune. I'm out of here. Peace out.
So yeah. Razor Ramon was pretty good. Yeah, so I mean it looks like it'll be neat. I mean, my hope from it is that we just get some archival footage it's obviously going to be a huge wank fest to Disney's company that they bought, 50 years later. but it's still going to it might have some cool footage. Like I wasn't positive that shot of
somebody say wank fest.
I did.
Sign Felonious up.
Felonious D. But what I was gonna say was there was a shot on the Making of Star Wars, the original one that aired on maybe ABC in the late 70s. And also if you could order it through Kellogg's in 1996 if you ate some Frosted Flakes and sent the proofs of purchases in. And on it has that shot of Obi-Wan Kenobi getting cut by Vader's sword and then his robes burst into flames, or they were supposed to, and it didn't work. I think that might have been a different alternate shot than the one that we saw, but they apparently tried it a few times and then just gave up because it didn't work.
Also, Qui-Gon, the first time he did it, he just caught on fire. So he had to teach Obi-Wan to not do that to himself.
I heard that's why he pisses his pants. That's why he pees his pants all the time. He's like, I'm just
that's why he didn't. He tried. That's why he disappeared. They put him in the fire pit because they were afraid when he turned into a ghost, he would just spontaneously combust. So they had it all. They wanted to make it look like it was natural in case it didn't. What if that was why George did the fucking scene at the end? You know.
I will say one last wrestling thing. Always appreciated that Hacksaw Jim Duggan just had like a piece of wood. Because when you were kids playing wrestling, you could just find a piece of wood and you could be Hacksaw. You know, you were ready to be Jim Duggan. Pretty good.
Also, I did not appreciate him walking around like he had Down syndrome as a gimmick. Like,
oh, was that a thing he did? I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Yeah, he was playing. I felt so bad because my buddy's cousin has Down syndrome, and God, bless his soul, he passed away. He was the biggest wrestling fan, and he would imitate such Jim Duggan, and we were like, please don't. He's not doing any favors.
Sheev says the trailer was cool at Celebration, and it was an interesting panel. You'll see how high these dudes get making Star Wars. Those dudes never got me high. That is hearsay. That is not true, but they know where to find me. Robert St. Clair says, I'm finishing up Brotherhood on Audible. Started it a few weeks ago while gaming, and it's worth checking out. I've got Shadows of the Sith in my library ready to go after I finish up Brotherhood. Yeah, let me know how it is. Anybody who's reading it as you're going through it, just give me your updates as you're going through it. I don't mind hearing kind of, don't spoil it for people who don't want to be spoiled, but just tell me what the vibe is of it. Is it really like a must read or not? I read too many books I would not call must reads with Star Wars that I don't really feel like throwing down. I stopped reviewing them, so they stopped giving me the review copies. So I'm not really down to necessarily go drop $20 on something I'm going to hate, because then I'll hate it more. That's the advantage to them giving them to me for free is I have less reason to hate them. But when I spend $20,
I got one of those.
I hate it more.
I got one of those paid sponsorship offers today for my streaming channel, I won't say what company because I don't want to throw them shade, but I was just like,
Kellogg's.
There isn't a fuck. Let's say it was Kellogg's. There's no fucking way I'm gonna go on to a place and tell everyone to eat a bunch of shit or use some shit that what am I supposed to? I don't know, man. I'm supposed to be a pitch guy for. I mean, I guess Jason, if you had to for the channel, I do it, but on my own, I'm drawing. What am I? I can't afford any of these membership services. What kind of artist?
Today's episode is brought to you by Summer School in 4K. Summer School in 4K.
Yeah, I would want to do the goofy Captain Crunch that I do. I would not want to do the real one. They wouldn't appreciate it.
Hey, Rob, did you say the other day you used to work at GameFan? If so, I have so many questions.
Yeah, sadly, not the GameFan, So, Dave Halverson is the guy who created GameFan magazine, and he ended up selling it to a company called Metropolis, and then it tanked, and then he went and did a new company called Play Magazine, which I got hired at in 2008 actually, and then that magazine fell when the Great Recession hit in 2010. And then Dave said, hey, man, I want to get GameFan back together. And so he wanted to do it with a skeleton crew to keep it on point. And he was going to have a guy lay out the pages, and then I would airbrush it and make it look GameFan-y, because GameFan back in the 90s was this thing that had a bunch of game screens. And the way they did it, every layout had a zillion fucking game screens. And the way that got made was every editor who wrote their own game review had to make their own layouts. So when you got a dozen people reviewing games and making layouts, a magazine that has 1 million screens in it can get done in a couple weeks. But when you have one guy, it doesn't happen. And this guy quit GameFan, and I got left, and I didn't want to go back to doing t-shirts, because who likes those stories, right? The t-shirt stories. So I was like, I'll make GameFan on my own. And so I made this GameFan 2010 is what is on the Wikipedia. That's what they're calling it, by myself. and pretty much almost killed myself doing it. Like, I don't mean like suicide. I mean like just from poor health. You know, like that when I was making GameFan, I would get a box of donuts, a dozen donuts, and I would just eat a donut, like enough of it to when I wasn't hungry, and then I would work.
You were telling me you would get the donut and you would just lick the hole until the donut fell apart and you consumed the whole thing, which is strange. It was strange.
I was living off donuts, dude. It wasn't good. Wasn't good. So.
Yeah.
But I hung out with Dave Halverson more than anyone else in the last 20 years, you know? So if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, hey, tell him to come and hang out. We'll make GameFan magazine 2. I'm ready.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
King Chris says, I'm trying to hear Mr. Lucas's commentary while the video is playing. We should just take the footage from that and have our George give his memories. We should just write a bunch of memories for George to that footage, and we should have George explain it like it's an old yearbook.
Lucas Zero.
Lucas Zero. Yeah. Sheev the Wise says Doug might, but he heard me call him out on the red carpet, so his hearing must be decent. Yeah, when at Celebration 1, it was totally inappropriate to me, but I was like 18, so what am I gonna do? I saw Doug Chang and I was like, that guy's amazing. I got out of my seat. I fucking solid snaked it, dude. I was like walking on my knees, dude. I walked all the way up to the fucking front of the thing. I was like, what's up, Doug? I like the stuff you're doing, man. You're rocking it. And he's like, oh, thanks, dude. And then Terrell Whitlatch was there. I'm like, I like your Jar Jar too. Pretty good stuff. That's the Bulbous, pretty neat. She's like, okay. And then I walked away. Yeah, don't do that. But I'm glad
I'm more of a fan of Ian McKegg's Jar Jar, to be honest.
The old McKeg of beer, as we call him around here.
I'm gonna call him out because it was in a public space. It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Comic-Con years ago, in San Diego, and my friend's like, "Hey man, we're hanging out with Ian McKeg. You should come down here." I'm like, "All right, I'll go down there." Right? Ian McKeg's there, and he's trying to like hit on girls.
Nice.
He's like, "Hey, I drew on Star Wars," and none of them cared. I was like, "He drew on Star Wars." They did not care, man. They weren't really remotely fucking interested. And he's a decent looking dude too. Like,
yeah. I would call him an ILM hunk.
He was getting no game. He's got the accent and everything, dude. No game. None.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy can't get game. Nobody can get game at this place.
You know what he needs to do is he needs to say, I drew Asajj Ventress. It was all my idea.
Well, they maybe now, but this is so. I thought that was that Dermot Powers?
Was that Dermot who did? Okay, it might have been Mr. Powers.
Give me. I remember.
Look at you.
Shit.
Look at you.
Smart.
Yeah.
I know. I'm smart.
You're smart.
I'm not dumb like James Caan.
You should wait for Bestman Bulletin to put out a scoop and then quote tweet it with yep, so you could co-opt it as if you know what the fuck you're talking about. That's a good one.
I just like to, anytime you post something, I go, always withholding information. Or anytime there's some other Star Wars news breaks that he didn't, always withholding info. You know, even though I have no idea, but you know, because it bugs him. But it seems to bug him when we accuse him of withholding info.
Yeah. Ty, I think it could be cool. I will watch it. It'll probably be totally entertaining, but a documentary like that with that footage would have been so much better made outside of the Disney side of things, you know?
Right.
I mean, are they going to show those ladies in the 1970s in those t-shirts with no bras? I hope so, because that was the best part of ILM in the 1970s from what I saw. Eric Denton says,
also my stepmother.
Hey, she's
my dad was not happy about it.
No,
child of the 70s. Yeah, she would walk around and he's go, put some on it. I would be like,
you know, that's not my real mom, right? That's cool.
You know, not that much older than me, really. Yeah, just to drive him nuts.
And that's why everything on Pornhub is stepmom based today. Eric Denton says George's voice got deeper. He's been working on it. He's like, George Lucas. Qui-Gon
he
said,
does a pretty good boss nass now too. You know, He's a thinking he's a like a Mongolian barbecue.
Well, the other day, I think it was Tom was like, "Hey, I went on a trip, want a good book, good audiobook, you know." And I was like, "Well, I can't really remember which audiobooks were good audiobooks themselves, but I was like, me and Rob always say Bloodline and Catalyst are like the two. And right now I'm going to say Catalyst because with Andor coming out, and it makes Rogue One a better film. That's not a slight on Rogue One. It was supplementary material that really truly enhanced the movie and makes you enjoy it more. So Catalyst right now is the one that I think is the most relevant, and wouldn't be surprised if we see some stuff from Catalyst in the Andor series, probably more towards the season 2 stuff, but we not saying we would see it remade necessarily, but we might. I
forced my wife to listen to Catalyst before Rogue One came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I had listened to him, like, you gotta listen to this, and she listened to it. And so when we went to Rogue One, man, just like, I wasn't confused. Like, some people are like, I don't know what this. I'm like, it all made sense to me. I don't know what the fuck you're missing out on. It's the one time where I'm like, you really should have read the book.
Tell me though, she still thought it was Rey's mom. No, I'm kidding. Reading a book is better than an audio book. I usually agree with that. Like it totally depends. That I'm a big Anne Rice fan, and I cannot listen to Anne Rice audiobooks. Something about my connection to those books and how I hear the characters that she wrote does not ring true when it's read to me by whoever does those audiobooks, or probably by anybody for that matter. But when it's kind of a mediocre Star Wars book or not the best Star Wars book, having it read to you with some zips and zaps in the background is definitely a more pleasant experience, like while you're playing video games or something, than reading a book that doesn't hit. So yeah, I think when it's like a really special book and you know it's special, I usually will go with reading it as opposed to the audiobook though. So,
well, I as you all know, I have to draw a lot.
Yeah.
This. And so normally audiobooks are my way to go, but I do make time to physically read because it's good for your comprehension, you know?
Mm-hmm.
James Salas's Drive book is one that I'm like, I will only read. I can't listen to an audio version of this. But I was hoping when Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood book came out, because it's not a straight adaptation, it's a different thing together. It's really great. I was like, all right, can't wait for this. And then the actress who played Darmadou, what's her name? Darmadou from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. What's her face? She did the audio novel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all I hear is Quentin Tarantino's voice when he writes. Why wouldn't Quentin just, you know, like when I read, so I just bought the book, and when I read it, I can hear Quentin's talking because I don't hear anyone else. He just writes in his own voice. Like,
yeah, every now and then you'll like see his actors imitating him. Like you could tell he was like, say it like this, and they were like, and then they just like mock him, and then he's like, it's like, yeah, that's what I wanted. Like you could hear his voice through the actor sometimes. It's really strange.
Yeah, so like the fact that he's not doing the audio on an audio novel is weird to me because it's maybe they were like he wouldn't stick to the script. He would start rambling and adding to the book, you know, and just start telling you cool stories.
Ducky just reminded me of this John Lennon story. The Bushwhackers reminded me more of Downs than Hacksaw. Hacksaw always reminded me more of Joe Cocker. Yeah, there's like a lot of footage of John Lennon where he acts like he has Down syndrome. And live on stage, and there's a book called The Beatles in Their Own Words, which is really a good one because there's no commentary, it's just the quotes kind of standing on their own. But in it, he talks about how like they would bring dying kids and kids with Down syndrome and things like that to see them before the shows, and he's like, there was only so much of that I could take. He's like, I just didn't know how to like process it, how to act. And my thing was just to make fun of it. You know, you could tell he was not proud of the fact that he had been doing that later in life. But I always thought that was like interesting. And I always find John Lennon interesting because, you know, he hit his wife and he did that. And he was kind of a big baby and kind of an asshole at times and super talented at the same time. But like the guy seems to mostly come around and then like, you know, and fix and admit to it. You don't really see that in mass media. Today they won't even let you. They would just cancel you and never work with you again. But in that instance right there, kind of I thought it was interesting.
Whereas the Bushwhackers won't admit their gimmicks Downs riff too. And I stand to say, Hacksaw got more like that after the Bushwhackers show up. If you go look, you're gonna see him try to out Bushwhackers the Bushwhackers. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, they're both pretty. What was the one where they're eating waffles and pancakes, and it's just there was like WrestleMania 9 where they're downstairs before the thing, and they're eating pancakes, and it's just shoving stuff in their fin. These kids are, I don't know, man. Like it wasn't for me, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what this is. Licking each other's heads and shit. Weird.
Ari wants to know if you love Andy Serkis.
I think I like his when he's acting, when he's doing his like actual actor, when he's physically in a role, not digitally in a role. Yeah, I think he's great.
Yeah.
Like when they killed him in Black Panther, I'm like, you got rid of one of your best villains here. This guy's charismatic. Anytime he's on screen, it's interesting.
Yeah.
He's never not interesting to watch, you know? And what'd you replace him with? You know?
Yeah, Acolyte's going to be filming pretty soon. Can't talk about it, but I think we know who one of the directors is on it. Somebody you've seen before, and but I can't say anything about it yet. It's too flimsy at this moment. Tyrant says Star Wars Dark Disciple is one of my favorite Star Wars books. It's such a great dumb adventure that you expect from Quinlan Voss's goofy ass. Then I'm reminded of how dumb Ventress looks, and it almost ruins it. You don't like the look of Ventress, or in the story, but yeah, that was supposed to be a Clone Wars film, and then they decided not to put it into production, so then they ended up making it into a novel. They ended up taking the I think it was a Katie Lucas script that was adapted into a novel. So yeah. Arya says, with the massive amount of love Thrawn books are getting, I wonder why Disney hasn't used this character in live action yet. Well, that they're doing it now, Arya. I mean, that's why they're like getting to it. But
couldn't finish the first Thrawn book.
Couldn't he be the next super villain now that Palpatine and Vader are gone? At the end of the day, I hope I'm wrong. Like, I totally want to be wrong. You guys didn't like the Grand Inquisitor, who's fucking rad, by the way, and way cooler than he is in Rebels. I'm fucking taking the stance and I'm standing by it. He's fucking hilarious in the show. But that said, he's the blue guy. Like,
they got the makeup wrong. You get the makeup right, it's forgivable. So they got the makeup wrong on that dude. That's my take on it. I would say the closer thing is
no. See, you just don't like the makeup. The rest of the people don't like that the makeup doesn't look like the comic or the cartoon character that they were diddling their vaginas to.
Either way, they didn't get the visual right, so it doesn't matter what he acts like. In terms of just a smart villain being, I thought Moff Gideon would be like their Thrawn surrogate, but he's turning out to be kind of stupid too. So like, he's not that intelligent. So it's like,
and we know the actor. We know the actor can do it because he's fucking done it.
Yeah, many times in his career, not just on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. So like, I disagreed with Jason at first, but I've come around to thinking like I just don't know if this crew is capable of creating an intelligent villain. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not saying Filoni can't. I wouldn't bet on it panning out to being super great on that front personally. That's where I'm at with it. When you look at the villains that Filoni's had to play with in the past, they're like all of the. I mean, like Darth Vader is this like damaged former hero kind of thing. I just don't, and it's so there's like stuff to play with there, but with Thrawn, I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I hope I'm wrong.
He really seems like a character Rian Johnson would have been tailored to deal with Thrawn. You know what I mean? Like a guy, because you got to be able to write a whodunit, I think, to be able to figure out a Thrawn. That's my 2 cents.
Star Wars Santa says he's about 70% into Shadows of the Sith. I'm enjoying it a lot, but it might not be for everyone. All right. Yeah, and Santa didn't like the Plagueis novel though. So if you don't like the Plagueis novel, then what Santa says is for you. I love the Plagueis novel. Love it. Tyrant says it would make a good one-shot Tales of the Jedi style show, Dark Disciple. Yeah, I wish that they would just went ahead and made the episodes anyways, because Ventress, is a character that we have in hundreds of episodes, or maybe not herself, but many episodes of a TV show. The big story and her death is buried in a novel, and that's just not people that primarily exist on screen should die on screen, I think. Quentin says they need who wrote for Gus and Breaking Bad for Star Wars. Ryan Johnson.
He's one of them.
He was one of the directors. Yeah. I don't know. Did Ryan write on Breaking Bad, or did he just direct?
Did he write that episode, The Fly?
The Fly one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But it's been a while. I should go back. I mean, you could look it up on IMDb and shit, but like
we all could.
Dig up that episode of the Breaking Bad podcast that Vince Gilligan and them do.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, and listen to that because it's really good.
Yeah.
Because I really would. The Fly episode. Yeah.
Tyrant says Fandom had an issue Cad Bane, which I thought was a surprisingly great live action version of the character. Underused, but altogether great. Aesthetically great.
Aesthetically
is what he's going for. Okay, aesthetically great. And now I don't care. He's 2 shades of blue lighter. Yeah, me either. That's where I'm at with it too. I actually have zero issues with how he looks in the series. In fact, the way that the mouth moves in like an analog fashion had me questioning if it was really good CGI or not, and it wasn't. And so I was just like, yeah, I dig it. I have no problems with it. And
amazing. I don't even fucking know the character. I don't watch the cartoon.
Yeah,
I've put him on a T-shirt a half dozen times because they told me to. But
really,
yeah, gotta put him on a shirt. All right. Target wants a Cad Bane shirt. You have it say this. They when it comes to those things, especially kids, department stores generally will give you the kind of thing they're looking for. Because you have a deal for a spot, and they already know what their audience, their customer is there to buy. You know what I mean? They have their own analytics for their customers, and they don't want you come in there hoping your design will do it. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we're a team here. There are no rock stars. Let's fucking do this. Ready to do it. There we go. It's time. I love this.
Hello. Goodbye.
I love him, man. He's so fucking hilarious. He reminds me of Death from Bill and Ted.
That's the guy. Yeah, that's also the guy from Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
the one that bets on him the first night. Yeah. Fresh fish. That dude.
Fresh fish. Santa says, to be clear, the Darth Plagueis novel is good. It was just a bit of a bait and switch since it isn't really about Plagueis. It's a young Pal book. Yeah. Palpatine stole the show. I agree.
And his Palpatines.
Mm-hmm.
Get it?
Yeah.
Sure, I'm not the first guy to make that joke.
It should have been called Palp and Plagueis, a Star Wars story. But all right, well, I think we will call it a day. And when Star Wars Santa feels good, I'll jump on and do a stream with him whenever he's ready, as I'm excited to hang out with him. I was waiting to hang out with him, and then the China virus came. Sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. But fuck China, they suck too. But
it's true.
Yeah, fuck them all.
But what we're really talking about is people using it as a pretense to commit atrocities against people of Chinese descent that have nothing to do with.
Yeah. And that's fucking messed up. Yeah. But
Jesse's furiously gathering all of his intel, together to say he's actually alive, Rob. Oh, like, I love you, Jesse, but you know what I mean? Like, he drops the crane, gets out, starts sending me all the shit. Yeah, thanks.
But thank you to everyone for liking the video today, for watching it through to the end, and commenting and hanging out with us and all that kind of stuff. And I will be back tomorrow. What day is it? I don't even know what day. It's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow. Making sure today wasn't Friday. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with Rob, who by the guys, Rob isn't actually drawing. He doesn't know how. He just scribbles lines. But we like to make him feel good, so we let him.
As an editor at IDW once told me, I'm irrelevant.
Oh no.
It took me to lunch to tell me that.
Yeah.
Like, well, thanks for the burrito.
Damn, that's going to be hard to top, but I'm going to do it someday. I'm going to take you to Chipotle. I'm going to be like, hey, how's that burrito? You're irrelevant. But,
I'd be like, okay. Then my best Bill Murray. Okay. Right. It's my favorite moment in Ghostbusters. Since we're at the end of the podcast, my favorite moment in Ghostbusters is when the dean tells Venkman and them how they're poor scientists, and Peter's response is, okay.
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 Sure.
That's me. That's me. I get that.
But thank you to everyone for being a channel member or Patreon supporter and supporting the channel. I appreciate it a lot. It lets me get pizza, and like the Ninja Turtles. I like pizza. Oh, on a side note, My Favorite Murder has an episode out right now. And the first story is about a tornado that's super messed up. The second story, though, is about these robbers, and it's like a stoner who plans the robbery. They pull it off, and he's inspired by the Ninja Turtles, and he goes underground and like digs a tunnel into the sewers into the bank and does a whole thing. It's super good. Highly recommend checking it out if you're bored and you like Ninja Turtles and robbers, because I do.
I thought you were gonna say it's a bunch of guy named Robs.
No,
they're called the Robbers. Right?
No, but at one point during the robbery for the hostages, they actually call for pizza, which was, I thought, a good callback to the Ninja Turtles as well. Yeah,
I was gonna say I do like pizza, Ninja Turtles and pizza.
Yeah,
us robbers, we do.
It's good. All right, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, and as always,
get the fuck out of my house.
Bye.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.